Hello, Ani, Tanshe, Tawau, Tutlamon. Hello and welcome everybody to today's Indigenous Women's Health Talk. My name is Carly. I'm here with Kylie today from Thunder Bay, and we're so happy that you all could join us for our monthly gathering. It's been a little while since we've come together and talked about our health, and today we're talking about unmasking and our mental health and wellness and reclaiming our sacredness from within. I'd like to thank Kylie for being here with me today. And
Carly?
Oh, just one moment.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Tina. Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm just trying to find myself to show my face on the screen here.
So we're going to be, I know, so this is a different platform. So a lot of our joiners that are joining in, a lot of our joiners are joining in through either Facebook Live or YouTube or Twitch. And then we also have a Zoom going as well with just a few of us that are going to be joining. So I know sometimes it can be confusing. But we do have some special guests joining us. Tina Armstrong's on the call with us as well. So I know,
So I can even show you here, Tina. I'll just turn my camera off, and maybe that might help for you to see me, and we can see you as well when you're turning your camera on.
Oh, you can see me.
I can see you, yes. And we have CJ here with us as well, everybody. So we have someone behind the scenes helping us out. And because probably too that it's just been a little while. It's been a few months since we've all gathered together. We're a little bit rusty. We're going to play some videos this afternoon and have a few different speakers. So we really appreciate your patience and just allowing us that little bit of extra time to transition from the videos.
Different
and
platforms, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to start in a minute with an opening, but I do want to just share with Tina too, because you are listening. You will see the main content on our live stream, so on Facebook. So there's not going to be anyone else joining in the Zoom, but there'll be other people listening in on one of ONWA's social media platforms. So as we navigate through different systems and different technologies, I'm going to begin with an opening. If that's
that would be lovely. Yes, thank you so much.
So, Buju, Kylie Cornell Nadijnakas, Onishashin Asineque Nadijnakas, Inimki Waju Nodojaba, Makwana Dodam. So I shared with you my name is Kylie. I work here at ONWA as the Indigenous Responsible Gambling Coordinator. And I'm very lucky that Carly reached out, and we are here today to gather and just to speak about a lot of great information. We have some teachings, but also focusing it around our mental wellness and mental health. It's a really important week this week. May 5th to 11th, I believe, is our Mental Health Awareness Week. And that was something you may see on, I'm just going to quickly share that, and I'll do a smudge here in a minute. But it's a really important awareness week, and you'll see I did a lot of work in that on our ONWA social media page, just some awareness information. So Carly reached out, and we wanted to kind of join forces and have this Indigenous health talk for everyone today. So with that being said, I have our smudge here, and I invite everybody, if they have their medicines, if they have smudge available, to join me. And if not, I am going to share this prayer, this smudge, on our virtual lodge today. So I do have, using our sage, and I do have all the medicines out, but I'm going to just use sage for today. Or if you have some tobacco, you can hold it in your hand. So we want to start off in a good way, and even me and Carly were talking to earlier, like these things, we take a lot of time and a lot of, a lot of effort, and then we get nervous as well, and sharing this information with everybody. but a lot of effort goes in, and this is just a way for us to just ground ourselves before we begin sharing. So I'm gonna quickly, I'll smudge Carly. So as we light our smudge, we're smudging our body. We're smudging all that negative energies or all the things that we're carrying. I'm going to just kind of have the smudge smoke go around the room. We're smudging, our head so we can think good thoughts and have good, good thoughts in our minds. We're smudging our eyes so we could see good things. I have to smudge my glasses too. Those are my eyes as well. Smudging our ears so we can hear good things. Our mouth so we can speak good words to each other. Our heart so we can feel that kindness, that love. We can accept it. We can give it out to others. Smudging my medicine pouch that I just made too as well. If you see, it's beaver hide, so I made that. So just smudging those items as well around you. So as I have my smudge lit, these are medicines that that are here to provide us. They're here we burn them and to purify ourselves. It provides us with access to their soul as well and power. It is essential that we ask for their permission before gathering these items. So you're always asking for permission. You're only taking what you need. You go out and you make your offering to the land as well. If you have tobacco, you're placing that tobacco down. If you don't have tobacco, there's other ways you could say your miigwech. And, I've been taught your hair is sacred as well. If you have a little strand of hair, you can also place that down. But again, we're giving thanks for our medicines and for the items that we gather on the land. So with that, I want to say, Great Spirit, miigwech for your unconditional love and all the blessings of life. Miigwech for your vision that allows us to see. Miigwech for the spirit of the ancestors who guide us and teach us in our lives. Miigwech, Mother Earth, for the blessings you give us so that we can survive. For the food, the nabe, our water. For our mishkiki, our medicines, and all the teachings you give us to live a sacred and balanced life. Miigwech to the grandfathers of the four directions who have always been there to help us find a good life and a balanced life. And for those who help us to treat all life with sacredness. So miigwech. Okay. All right. So with that, we'll let our smudge is still burning nice and strong. And as Carly shared today, our Indigenous Women's Health Talk is unmasking mental health and wellness, and it's reclaiming our sacred truth from within. And with that, we do have, before we begin, one of our intentions was to place a guided meditation. And I know we are kind of, we started off with a smudge to ground us, and this is just another form or another way that we can ground ourselves. And I know, especially with our busy life and schedules, and there's so many things that are happening, it's just really, we're intentional with putting, of course, starting off with a smudge, but putting a guided meditation in the beginning because we are so busy and our minds are going everywhere. And it just helps us to, again, if this is a way that helps you connect and ground yourself.
And sort of prepare us to
take
in all this information and receive this information. So I'm going to just transition us here and share my screen. And Kylie and I are going to join in with you all as well and just take this moment to listen in and slow our breathing.
pause it for a second.
You're not having that audio?
I don't believe you're sharing audio with us.
I'm so sorry.
Technology, eh? It's okay.
So,
We'll go back to our Zoom, maybe. Hey, you said?
Yeah, it's through Zoom when you go to share your screen.
So we'll go back up here.
okay.
Bear with us, guys. Be patient. We'll go down to maybe more. Settings, audio.
It looked like it was working before.
I think it's just when you go to click share, if there's an extra check
Oh,
box.
thank you. Let me just do this again, then I'm gonna.
Sure.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yep.
Thank you so much, CJ.
Yeah,
There we go.
You've done it. Okay, we're gonna restart this video. Thank you everyone for your patience. I hope this works here. Here we go.
It's not sharing for us. No, it's just, you started screen sharing, but
Okay. 1 second. There is one more thing, I think, because we had this stuff. Is that gonna create like, if this is on?
I'm not sure if you're still sharing.
Just one moment.
Titled Grandmother. Hi everyone, I would like to welcome you to our meditation titled
Oh my
Okay.
gosh. Okay. I apologize, everyone. We are gonna get this right. Oh, so sorry. Wait, help me out here.
Here, let's see.
Thank you. Thank you.
Here.
Thank you.
We'll get
I
this.
really appreciate you taking over. And I thought we did share this one.
Okay.
We get the feedback.
Now, let's see if this works, CJ.
I'm not seeing the screen share on my end, I'm very sorry. I'm
Oh.
not sure why this is.
Well, you know what? That's okay. We'll pivot because technology, I don't know, or if these little people are playing tricks on us right now. I don't know. That's okay.
We have one more video that we were hoping to share towards the end of our gathering today. So hopefully we can iron out those little kinks during our break time. But that's all right. We will move on. And we would like to welcome Tina Armstrong today joining us. And we were hoping, Tina's going to be chatting about Grandmother Moon teachings, and for all our future Indigenous Women's Health Talks, we were hoping to each month talk about the current Grandmother Moon and share that knowledge with everybody. So for our very first Grandmother Moon teachings in May, Tina, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you being here.
Thank you there, Carly and Kylie, and thank you for that prayer, Kylie,
Miigwech.
and leading us in such a beautiful way to get, your series started. And this is so exciting, Carly. So I was given tobacco by Carly. She came over to my house to offer her tobacco and a little gift, for me to come and just share a little bit of, my understanding, about, the Grandmother Moon teachings as it relates to the flower moon, which is, this month, the May moon, right? And so I was telling Carly, I says, talk about perfect timing, because, um, of the teachings that I've received. But before I begin, I'd like to, introduce myself, the grandmothers that carry me and the clan that carries me. So, Jauno Benasik, Dinago, Wagamisko Benasik, Wagan, Dinago, at the Kindo Dam, when he showed me there, with the Kenny Mitch Gonzagi, Ganikindochi. With the screen now, Maga Naga, Gaya, Gaya Pie, Gabizindamik, where Miguacha Wikidia, Miguacha Winago, Bueno, Nok Masnanak. You would gush your boat with the Wabinong Shawn and Wabinong Kiwaitman. So again, one of the things that I've learned through the grandmothers is the importance of, always acknowledging and lifting them up, and the names that have been given to me are ancestral grandmothers that that carry me through this earth walk that we're on, and my clan, and also acknowledging each and every one of you, for being present and taking this time out just to build your bundles, of knowledge and understanding, right? So, the way I've been taught, and I like I was telling Carly, I said it's perfect because, one of the first grandmother teachings is about life, and it's about water. And this really ties into, this, the moon that, for May, they call it the flower moon, however, through my late adopted father, Majiba Nespa, he would often talk about how, this is our new year. This is where the buds start coming out. That's when, that's actually, it's not January 1st, right? And so with this teaching, through the grandmothers, they often talk about, how, we can't have, life without water, and water without life. And that is what gives us life, right? And so you look at, when you look outside your window, and I know I'm here, sitting in the Hockley Valley right now, and I'm looking at these beautiful, trees that are all around, and I see the buds coming out, I'm thinking about how, beautiful this month is, because again, the way I've come to understand, this particular month, it is about new life. It is new life that is given to us. That's all the way around. Not only the trees, this is where the new ones are being born. This is where the flowers are starting to bud. And so I think about, these little, tobacco ties, and these little spirit dishes I have, like for the water, for the, for creation, and for our ancestors. And again, it goes back to that teaching, of the first grandmother teaching, where they talk about, the importance of us not to forget, that first grandmother teaching where, you know, that life and water go hand in hand, in everything that we do, and how we need to acknowledge, that the life that exists everywhere that, that we see, the plant life, the animal life, but also within ourselves. And over the years, I've spent talking about, how the grandmothers also talk about, the waters that are inside of us. And we think about, it's always around this time too, where the ice breaks, break up. And this is what we used to call it back home, where, I'm originally from, Bear Lake First Nation within the Anishinaabe Nation. And, at the time where I was growing up, we had freeze up and break up. And so breakup was always around this time. And that was a time where that celebration again of new life, a new beginning. It was happening again, the spawning that was taking place. And again, thinking about, the suckers start to run, and again, it's about, clearing up those lakes, for new life to happen, right? And so And so when I think about, these teachings, of the grandmothers, and when we think about this particular month about the flower moon, it ties in so beautifully, with how, we have been given this way of seeing, and it has always been there, and on this way of knowing has always been there. However, it's been just through what has happened through our people. Um, I really believe that it was never lost. It's always been there. It's just now, again, when we talk about, when we, think about that new life, again, I believe it's always been within us, so again, when we, think about, this particular month, this is also a time, where fasting begins, because again, from what I've understood and understand from, the teachers I've had over the years, and when I, go and ask about fasting, they would say, wait until the buds come out. And it's usually around this time, when this particular moon is when the buds start to come out, right? And that's when they would say, that's when you know it's time to go fasting, right? And so again, we had the moon, the different moons that we had is what guided us, would guided, which guided us in terms of what it was that we needed to do next, what to expect in each moon, right? And so with this moon here, and it's like I was sharing with Carly, it's so perfect, a perfect way to start off, the work that, Carly and her program is doing. And, because here I have water, I have my tobacco, I have my berries, and again, what that is about is that cleansing of that pathway for a new life and a new beginning, new understanding, right? And so for me, what I've come to understand, behtak chikwe man, jenichken man, that I've been taught, as I've come to learn and try to understand and lifting up our knowledge, because this is only one of many different ways. And this is something I want to share with you and remind you that what I'm sharing with you is one of many beautiful ways of translating and interpreting the different moons, right? And this is where again it becomes really important, for us to, to have that open mind to the different ways of knowing and how they're translating it, right? And so again, it's through the grandmother teachings. This is where they say, take your time, take your time. You walk slow, right? You walk slow, and you take what you need. And if it means you got to stay there, then you stay there for a little while, because if you rush that process, it's like, what would happen if we tried to, rush the buds on the trees? Like, what would happen if we tried to rush, so that the flowers bloom right away? What would happen? You know, um, and again, the grandmothers remind me that, we have to take our time. We have to go slow, right? Because especially as we come into this new year, because this is what this is. This is our new year. The buds are out, you know, and this is where new life is happening, for creation, that's all around us, right? And this is where, we put out our offerings, we put out our tobacco, we put out our, food offering. We put out our little gifts, out on the land to say thank you for that new life. And this is where, I mentioned, like, I'm in the Hockley Valley right now, and we have, like, currently me and I have a team here that we work together. We have 27, over 27 people out on the land. And I'm thinking, how perfect is that? Because the buds are out here. So again, think about May. When you think about May, you think about the flower moon, think about new life, the new life that's given to you, to your family, to everything, every creation that's all around us. So I want to say thank you, Amiga Shawina for, say thank you, Carly, for inviting me, to come and share just a little bit of what I've come to understand. Because again, one of the things I've learned is try to keep it simple. That's my mantra in life is try to keep it simple, and try to demystify what it is that we know and how we understand things, right? Because when you really start to look at, especially when you think about this particular month, it's very simple, very simple. It's about new life, new beginnings, it's about letting go, it's about letting go of what it is you've been carrying all year, and again, that really ties into what also this theme is all about, and the exercise that you're going to be doing, after the break, about this whole unmasking and letting go. It all ties in. That all ties in together, right? So I say thank you to each and every one of you, and I wish you all a beautiful day. And when you go out and you look at those buds, say miigwech. When you see those, the plants coming out that look so beautiful, nice and green, say thank you, because that's new life, and that's new life what also our first mother's giving us, each and every one of us. What a beautiful gift, right? So, miigwech good now. I say thank you, Carly and Kylie. Miigwech.
Miigwech, chi miigwech, Tanya. That was really beautiful. That was lovely. Thank you so much for that. That was a beautiful teaching. And I really do love how things happen the way they're supposed to. And when we met last weekend, I was talking to you about the information we were hoping to share. Just everything seemed to just perfectly, almost like be meant to be, that we were all supposed to be here together today and to hear your teachings. And thank you again so much for joining us. So, how are you doing?
Good. Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay.
Yeah. I know. It's, it's just, no, yeah. Thank you so much, Tina, again, miigwech, for sharing that. And I know I just was so blessed to hear that you were able to join us and share those teachings of the month of May, the May moon. I have seen some, a lot of people engaging too on Facebook, comments and just saying miigwech to you as well for sharing your teachings. So thank you. But yeah, no, I'm feeling good though. And I know we were kind of off to a little bumpy start there with technology, and that's okay. We'll just keep rolling with the punches.
I think we will. Yeah, I think we will.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have another guest joining us today. It's our coworker Amy, who is our health systems navigator here in Thunder Bay through the Mindamoyan Clinic. And we invited her here to join us and just talk about her role, and just share a little bit about what services, what support, and what she does here at ONWA. How are you doing, Amy?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Come on over, Kylie. Said
I'll bump off for a minute and I'll come back on.
Okay, I'll hop on for a minute.
Thank you so much for coming. I know you said you have a little bit of cough. Feel free to
I do,
take your
bear
time
with me.
And, yeah.
I made it, I'm here. That's okay, so.
Yeah. I was really glad that you said you could join us. I think that for a lot of people, a lot of community members who call the Min Des Moines Clinic line, that you're one of the first people that they are connected with. And so I was really glad that you were able to come so that everyone could see your face and get to meet you. And because I'm sure that there's many people in our community that you've been able to help, and
For sure.
they may have only been able to hear your voice and have a conversation with you. So thank you so much.
No
I'll pass the mic over
problem.
to you if you want to,
Okay.
tell us a bit about yourself.
Thank you, Miigwech, for having me here today. So bear with me. I have a little bit of cough, getting over a cold and some allergies. But yes, so Bonjour, Amy, and Indigenous. My name is Amy. I come from James Bay Treaty, Kanokami First Nation in the Greenstone area. I'm a non-practicing RN and a health systems phone and navigation clinic support worker at the Min Des Moines Health Clinic here at ONWA, but based in Thunder Bay. I'm here today to talk about my role, what services that the Min Des Moines Health Clinic offers, like Carly mentioned. So the Min Des Moines is one who holds things together, in our journey of the safe Indigenous focused healthcare here at ONWA. The Min Des Moines Health Clinic, our core mission revolves around fostering a secure, inclusive, comprehensive environment that prioritizes the well-being of our community members. We provide vital healthcare support, including vaccination services and broader health services tailored to the needs of our Indigenous population. So as a vital member of the clinic team, I serve as the primary point of contact for our communication line, where I manage incoming calls and inquiries. I do provincial health navigation as well as local health navigation. Some of my responsibilities include assisting community members in navigating a appointment booking system to help secure healthcare appointments, minimizing barriers to access within the healthcare system. My role also encompasses handling various administrative roles and tasks that are integral to the smooth operation of our clinic. So how that works is I guide members in understanding and navigating the healthcare system by helping them access necessary resources and understand both health options, both provincial and local. We offer a wide range of services here designed to meet the needs of the Indigenous community members. So, for example, some phone calls that I would get during or through the clinic line provincially, I would do my best to support as quickly as possible within a 24-hour span and do my best to help navigate the system wherever they're calling from, or help them connect with other departments within their area. I would take their contact information. Typically within 24 hours, I would have them connected to the supports that they're asking for. But here in Thunder Bay, based solely out of the Min Des Moines Health Clinic, we offer other services in Thunder Bay that include health navigation, outreach support. Our team works tirelessly to assist community members in accessing diverse healthcare services, ensuring everyone receives the support that they need. We offer primary care services, but currently these services are limited to community members involved with ONWA programming. For primary care needs, individuals and community members are encouraged to call our clinic line here, which is, I will mention, is 807-632-3442, and ask for the Min Des Moines Health Clinic, or our direct clinic line at 807-697-1753. We also offer diabetes education. We offer targeted programs designed to support Indigenous community members who identify as First Nations, Métis, Inuit, focusing on preventative care and management strategies. We offer foot care services here, so specialized foot care services are available to Indigenous community members within the same identity groups, ensuring proper foot health and management. We offer immunization services. We provide essential vaccines, including MMR, COVID, influenza, RSV, ensuring our community is protected against preventable diseases. We have our new COVID-19 spring campaign that just recently came out. So for latest updates and information about COVID-19, community members can contact our clinic line again directly, or visit the Thunder Bay District Health Unit website for up-to-date resources. We offer Indigenous health promotion. Our clinic runs focused initiatives aiming to enhance overall health across the community. We offer cultural care and traditional medicines. We provide access to traditional healing practices available through in-person requests or phone inquiries directed through centralized intake. I feel like I'm doing an overload of information here very quickly.
Well, there is a lot
but
of
there is a
things.
lot that
Yeah.
we do here in the clinic, and I just wanted to emphasize a lot on the services because I know a lot of people do have questions on the services that we do provide, what the processes are, and things like that. So basically, if you or anyone, as long as so for certain services in our clinic, so for like foot care, diabetes, if you identify as Indigenous, First Nations, Métis, Inuit, we are able to provide you with that service. However, for primary care, you need to solely be an ONWA community member and doing program within ONWA to see one of our nurse practitioners or primary care providers. For cultural care and traditional medicine, we do in-person requests and phone call requests. We do have all traditional medicines available. We do our own harvesting. We've started that now, doing our own harvesting of the medicines. So we'll be starting for the month of June. We're going to start harvesting and then continue that from that point on. And then, so that's actually really good. We're excited about that. We started our first medicine harvesting just the other month. We went to go look for some cedars. So yeah, that's exciting for us. And we get the teachings at the same time, so we can carry that with us and able to pass that on as well. And fill our own knowledge bundles. Yeah. So that's really exciting. We also do social, mental, cultural health supports here. Our resources are geared towards addressing cultural needs of our community members. We also offer mobile unit supports. So we do a lot of transportation support for medical appointments. Based in Thunder Bay, for Indigenous community members as well that identify as First Nations, Métis, Inuit, just to reduce barriers to accessing essential services. So, but if I were to get a phone call that was provincial, then I would do my best to connect those community members to whatever area that they are calling me from. So like, for example, I had a couple of weeks ago, someone called me from the Toronto area with a community member in a family crisis. Just, wanted to reach out and see what other resources or if there's anything that ONWA can provide. So I actually connected them through a centralized intake, and they were actually able to connect with a brief services worker in Toronto, for that matter, to advocate for Indigenous women and their families. So like, just things like that will come through. We'll get pretty much any kind of phone call. Our clinic line is the big number that's on the ONWA website that people love to phone and ask tons and tons of questions.
Wonderful.
So I do my best to navigate appropriately. But like I said, I always will do my best to connect them with all the services. And for Mental Health Week and for our mental health support, I just wanted to emphasize, and in recognition of Mental Health Week right now, that we do have mental health resources available through the clinic. We have our dedicated mental health worker, Miigwen Mainville. She specializes in providing support to individuals that are identified as First Nations, Métis, Inuit. For self-referrals, then community members are encouraged to contact the clinic line again directly, 807-697-1753, or reach out to main reception, which helps expedite referral processes, and follow-ups typically occur within 24 hours as well, or sooner depending on the urgency of the requests. So yeah, that's the whole load of information that I have today. But also open to any questions. I'm also, like I said, first point of contact for the clinic line, so call me anytime and I'll do my best to point you into the right direction, or connect you with the right person. Further details regarding any other programs, we do have our clinic brochure on the onwa.ca website.
Okay,
that is
fantastic.
available for people to reference, as well as our contact information is also on the onwa.ca website. So our clinic number, our address, and our vaccine at onwa.ca email is also available, that we monitor on a daily basis. But yeah, so
And I'm sure CJ's put that into the chat, or Jordas, who's also helping us out
Perfect.
today.
yeah.
They're really great at if anything comes up that they're gonna post those links and that information as well in the chat. So
Awesome.
it sounds like you get quite a large amount of calls on such a
Yes.
variety of different with different needs and
Yes.
health questions. And
Yeah.
I think our community members are really lucky to have you
Oh,
on the
thank
other end
you.
of that call, like listening in and bringing all that knowledge to them and helping
you.
them find like the quickest and best access to services. that
Yeah,
they
for
can.
sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can finally put a face to my name.
Yes.
When they call,
That's
this is Amy.
wonderful.
Hello, this is Amy.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, no, it's really great. I enjoy the work that I do, and I enjoy helping people and being able to connect them to the services that they need. So, miigwech for having me here today. I appreciate it, and yeah,
And miigwech for coming and sharing.
thank you.
I hope you feel better soon.
Thank you.
We
I'm
made you
on the
talk for a
mend.
good little chunk of time here, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm on the mend, so I appreciate it. And yeah, thank you for having me. And if there's any questions, please feel free to reach out anytime.
okay, wonderful. Thank
Okay.
you again, Amy.
No problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
See some hearts going to you're talking. So you did good.
Thank you, guys.
Well done, Fred.
like it was just
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So we are coming up to this point in our agenda that we thought we would have our little break. So for those of you who are new to the Indigenous Women's Health Talks, we usually like to have a little bit of a break midway through, just so we can get up and stretch our legs, move our water, drink some water, whatever we need to do. And then when we come back from our break, probably just before 3 o'clock, hopefully we can look over those videos that we were hoping to post. Maybe we can sort something out with that. But we will get into our presentation after the break on masking, unmasking, and honoring that sacredness that's within us. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And Tina, thank you, Chi-Chi miigwech, for being here with us again. We really appreciate it, and it's been really lovely to see you and to hear your teachings today.
Yes. Miigwech.
Oh, miigwech, Carly and Kylie.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we'll take how long? Like just 10 minutes or?
Yeah, I think 10 minutes is good.
So I have 2:46 on my clock, or 2:47.
Mhm.
So, I mean, just before 3.
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds good. Okay, thanks everybody. We'll see you soon. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you had a nice break and were able to just get up and move around, listen to your body, maybe get a glass of water. While we were away, we were busy trying to figure out our audio issue for the video that we tried to show before, and I think we figured it out. We still want to cross our fingers, but so we wanted to show you this really nice grandmother moon meditation that our coworker and friend Amy Vanderzide had done, and these are posted on YouTube. There's mini meditation series on the ONWA YouTube channel, and so if you're interested in seeing any other videos, feel free to go into there, and you can also find this video that we were going to show as well.
Yeah, no, and I think, again, if you're tuning in and you didn't see prior, we just shared that this, our intentions for this, it's fitting. We had Tina Armstrong, one of our knowledge carriers, join us earlier and just sharing about the grandmother moon for May. And we wanted to, put this meditation in to help, reinforce like just her teachings as well through a meditation. Yeah.
And just sort of like help us prepare for moving into the portion of our event where we're going to be discussing a variety of different mental health and mental and well-being
lots
topics.
Of information. Yeah,
lots of information. So just to sort of help us clear our minds and just take a brief moment to just sort of center ourselves and ground ourselves. So we want to do a shout out to Amy for doing this video for us. And are you alright if I just hit play?
I think we're good. So I hope everyone can hear it, and we're going to participate in this as well. So we'll press play.
Okay, if you want to hit the mic there.
Hi everyone, I would like to welcome you to our meditation titled Grandmother Moon. Before we begin, I invite you to find a comfy space within your home, a space where you can feel safe and supported. You're welcome to stand, you're welcome to sit on a pillow, a block, a bolster, anything that makes you feel supported, comfortable, and grounded during this time. I invite you to just close your eyes softly if that feels comfortable to you. And just begin to notice your breath. Notice each inhale and each exhale. Maybe notice your belly rise and fall with every single breath. I invite you to roll your shoulders, going one way while continuing to breathe, and then the other. Just beginning to get comfortable within our seat, or if we're standing, getting comfortable, just being grounded at this moment. Imagine you are Grandmother Moon. You are the protector of our night sky and Mother Earth below you. Inhale and exhale. You are strong. You feel the energy of the stars around you. With each inhale and exhale you take, you help Mother Earth sleep in peace below you. Inhale and exhale. You comfort your communities. You comfort the mountains. You calm the busy trees and allow them to root into Mother Earth after a long day. Inhale and exhale. You help the tide pull waves onto the shore. You help remind us that even in our darkest moments, you have the light to help guide us back to our bundle. Inhale and exhale. Before we open our eyes, I invite us to reach our arms overhead on our inhale and exhale. Allow them to drop back to your sides. Do that one more time. Inhale and exhale. You're more than welcome to stay seated or standing in this position, or I invite you to open your eyes and begin your day.
All right. I definitely needed that. And I'm sorry, I know I'm glad that we were able to get that figured out and you guys were able to participate in that meditation. It was good to stretch too in those moments.
Yeah. I think we were getting some feedback from some people too, just giving us some hints about where they were at with the volume. We really appreciate that. That really does help us out in making sure we can give you the best experience today. I really enjoyed that too. I really like guided meditation. I've tried some other kinds, and I just like that there was that imagery and along with the movement. I find my mind can wander sometimes. When I'm trying to meditate, I'm thinking about my breath, and then I'm starting to think about my grocery list or like something else. And sometimes it can be really difficult to go through like a meditation and really focus on the breathing. So thank you, Amy, for that video.
Yeah, that was nice. I really liked, just check out again, like what Carly shared earlier. There's lots of really great meditation videos on our YouTube. All right, so we'll go into our presentation. If we'll switch over.
I just want to make sure, should I stop sharing? Or
No,
just
we'll go to our PowerPoint.
Thank you. If at any time you want to just take the mouse and go for it. Okay, that seems to be all right. Looking good, CJ?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to give you that marker for our little part. So we're just moving into our presentation and our discussion portion of today's event. And I wanted to go through, 1 second here. Pardon me. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. So what to expect? I just always like to go over for everybody what kind of topics we're going to be going over. And Kylie and I hope that you enjoy our presentation today. And we want you to be aware that in addition to sharing this knowledge, we're also going to be listening to one more meditation towards the end of our event. And we hope to just lead you through a couple short activities that hopefully can offer some opportunities for self-reflection. But for those of you who may be new to the Indigenous Women's Health Talks, pardon me, I'm just going to skip over that. I wanted to just mention, sorry, I'm just jumping back here. Help me out, how do I get back? Oh, there we go. Sorry, I got a little distracted there. But we have a survey. For those who are new to the Indigenous Women's Health Talks, we always like to post a survey around that midway point and towards the end of our event. And so for any of you out there who have the time and would like to offer your time up to just go through that survey for us, share your thoughts, your feedback, and let us know how today's event went for you, what things were great, what things we could improve on. And a really important one for me is finding out from you what future Indigenous Women's Health Talks topics that you would like to hear about. We really do try our best to gather all that information from everybody and use it to create our schedule throughout the year. So also to go along with that, this is that moment where if we had forgot to mention it before to you, feel free to grab a pen or a paper. We're going to go over an activity pretty shortly that we encourage you just to write down a few little things. And towards the end of the presentation, we're going to go back and look at those notes as well. So Just want to make sure. I think I forgot to mention as well that for our survey, if you feel comfortable leaving your name and an email address, we put your name in for a draw gift. The survey will be posted for the next 3 days and will be up until about the end of Friday. And then I will go through all those emails and put them in a draw for a gift that Kylie and I have put together. So for those of you though, the gift is only for those living within Ontario. So I would like to apologize to anybody who's joining us from outside the province or outside of Canada. We have to keep it local to those in Ontario. Okay, so we're going to cover a few little topics. I just wanted to give everybody a heads up. But for the purpose of safety for us all and to be welcoming, we want to just let you know about these topics. And we do want to acknowledge that during an activity or a knowledge sharing portion today, that some of you may experience some emotions or feelings or discomfort within your bodies. And we encourage you during these times to be kind to yourself and to take the time to give yourself any care or attention that you need during those moments. We'd also at this moment just like to post the contact information for the Talk for Healing line, which allows you different ways to communicate with their helpful staff, either through text or phone call. They have many staff there who can also talk to you in your preferred language. They're very, very quick to respond to any messages that you send. Okay, so as we've mentioned a few times, our theme for today is around masking and unmasking, and we're sort of under that umbrella of mental health. And so when we think about mental health, this really encompasses so much of us. It's our emotional self, our psychological self, and our social well-being. And when I think about that definition, I also, what comes up for me is the medicine wheel and how it encompasses all aspects of our health, our spiritual, emotional, physical, and mental well-being. The medicine wheel teachings remind us then, like when one aspect of our wheel is out of balance for us, then our whole wheel can be affected and therefore be out of balance. So today, Kylie and I will be focusing on mental wellness, the idea of masking and unmasking, but we also want to acknowledge that our overall health and the medicine wheels are these really large, magnificent, complex woven structures that just involve so many aspects of our life. And they're really individual to each and every one of us. Oops, pardon me. I should totally give you the mouse. Okay, so our purpose today in sharing this information with you all and having this discussion that we're going to move into is to offer you some new ideas, probably some old ideas, some repeated information for you. But we do have hope that some of what we share with you today will be useful for you and that you may decide to take some of this knowledge with you, bring it into your lives, or even share it with others.
So I want to jump in really quickly. With that even being said, the teaching that I received too is, so there's times where we're going to hear information and we may hear it more than once, or we're going to hear it at different points in our lives. And we may have heard it in the past maybe it didn't stick with us, and then now it's sticking with us because it's relating to something that's current, or we're able to kind of really understand that teaching. So we hope that you take the information today that really is going to resonate with you. It's going to stick right now, and then you can leave the information that's not, and hear it. But maybe next time you hear that information again, that's going to help you in that point in time.
Thanks for saying that, because there really is a lot of information in here. There's going to be a lot of points, and it would be really difficult to take all that in and incorporate that and process that. So I really do think, we all sort of take in what we need at that moment. We are about to just move into our first activity, or sorry, our second activity. I consider the meditation an activity. And this is that moment where if any of you are able to grab a pen or a pencil or a piece of paper, we're going to look at our own medicine wheels and acknowledge what we do for ourselves in our daily lives to care for ourselves and live within balance.
Yeah. And then again, we're going to move into that activity, but as you see here, it's really important. And me and Carly couldn't find a stat really just relevant to just First Nation mental health. And we've seen different stats for different things that do affect our mental health. But as you see here, approximately 1 in 5 individuals within Canada experience mental health challenges. So the purpose and the information that we share is just, we're hoping to kind of help guide you along that wellness journey. And
yeah. And also to recognize that this is a really common thing, that
it's
like
common.
At different times in our lives that we need more help, we need to slow down and reflect on our health and like what we need to, and focusing on ourselves. So
yeah, so we'll move into our activity. So hopefully that gave you some time to, if you have a pen around or a paper or just something.
Okay, so what does your medicine wheel look like? As I said before, everyone's going to be, we're all individuals. We're all hoping that we can look at our own, but even if you're sitting next to somebody and we both work on our own, they're going to look different. So we want to look at what positive or healthy, I like to think of it as good energy or good energetic actions, tasks, daily activities that we do for ourselves, that we could put down and would be reflected in our own medicine wheel. So we're going to get you all to draw a circle, and we're going to create a medicine wheel on a piece of paper. Now, CJ, I'm wondering about just maybe switching the camera over. So we wanted to just, is that okay? I can hold it up, or do you want to?
So as we're going to, so Carly's going to read out some ideas or things to think about. And I want, and the purpose as they read out the questions is going to those sections and putting those yes or no responses into that section. Correct?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You may even want to just write some words down or things like that. We do have some suggestions and some examples, but if there's things you're like, those don't work for me, I know what I want to write. This is your medicine wheel. So put in whatever you would like. So we're going to do the circle and then the quadrants. I don't know if you want me to,
Are you want me to write?
If you could write, yeah, that would be great. I appreciate
I'm
that.
going to give you
friend.
them.
Oh, I'll take the mouse back. Yes. Okay. And so within each quadrant, so after you drew your circle, you're going to do your lines to divide. And in each quadrant, you're going to write spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional. And our medicine wheels may all look different too, where we
place it. Yeah.
Yes. And maybe after we do this activity, you may decide to redo this. Maybe you'll think about it a bit more, reflect, and we hope this is helpful for you. So we'll get into this. So let's look at the quadrant that we've identified as spiritual. So, and ask ourselves this question: do I spend time in nature? Yes or no? Am I in my life fostering spiritual connections within my community? Actually, I read that wrong. Foster spiritual connections or community. So different types of connections. If you want to choose which one works for you, or do you feel a sense of purpose in your life? Do you set aside time for solitude and reflection? Some quiet Kylie time with all your children. Does anybody want to share any others that we may have missed here that just feel like really big ones that we should mention? Some of us can see the chat and we'd love to read them out, but this is what we have right now. So we have a couple.
This is what I have so far. So just answering her questions too.
Oh, we're gonna hold it up.
Hold it up better, higher.
Forward. Towards this.
Sorry, guys.
Perfect.
So I shared, yes, I do spend time in nature. I think that's really helpful for me, something that I like to connect with. I said yes for community, and I think, I'm getting better at the spiritual. I probably could say yes for spiritual, but I'm getting better, and that's something where maybe we'll talk a little bit more about that after, about those areas. But yeah, I don't know what else I would add into questions. So if there's anything that gets popped up, I don't see anything yet, but
we're going to also review these later, so we might in that time think about some other
questions.
Other questions. That'll be more towards the end of the presentation. So we're moving into that physical quadrant. And do I engage in regular exercise? So this could be going to the gym, walking around your neighborhood to see family and friends.
Speak going out in the land.
Going out on the land, yes. Also, do I prioritize quality sleep every night? And so this could be turning off your screen earlier in the evening, possibly. Maybe setting a specific bedtime for yourself, or having other bedtime goals. Maybe waking up at the same time every day could be your way to prioritize a quality sleep. Maybe taking naps. That would be mine. So do I take regular breaks or relaxation time? So breaks at work maybe, or making sure that you take your lunch and all your breaks throughout your day if you're at work. This could, I feel, even be like a vacation or just sitting down outside. Do I maintain a balanced and nutritious diet? Do I seek medical care when needed? Alrighty. While we're just sort of in this talking about physical, I just want to mention really quickly that ONWA has our Mock Walk campaign that's just started this month. And so for those of you who would like to join in, it goes for 8 weeks. And I'm going to ask CJ or Jordis to post the link and that for the Mock Walk. But one of our coworkers here, Samara, she has a lot of really fantastic prizes, and she every week puts out different Mock Walk challenges, and it's a really fun way to get your family and friends out there with you.
We've seen a lot of our coworkers or colleagues like taking a walk on their lunch breaks or breaks today. It's a beautiful day outside. So getting other people to join in with you and having that connection with others to do it, it's fun. It's a fun thing. It's also not only for movement and physical, it's for the smoking sensation as well, right?
Yes,
so there's some
right.
challenges, and it's really, it's really great to put that in your intentions each week. And then win some prizes, possibly.
Yes.
We do have a note from Karen Marie, and she said self-love and self-care.
Oh, self-love and self-care, definitely. Thank you so much for suggesting that. This is what this is all about. Okay, so we're moving into that quadrant, our mental health, our mental well-being. Do I enjoy learning new things? Do I analyze information critically? Do I contribute to my community? Do I challenge myself intellectually? So I feel like that could be puzzles. That could be learning new traditions.
Or language, if you're learning languages or different language, or wanting to learn your language.
Revitalizing your language, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Yes. And if anyone else has any others that we should mention or they want to put up there, we would love to hear them. We have one last quadrant left, and we're into our emotional quadrant. So do I have supportive family and our friends? Do I share feelings openly and appropriately? And we're going to talk about that a little bit later, around the ideas around masking and unmasking. Do I employ healthy stress management techniques? And there's so many that could be under that heading. Do I feel comfortable asking for help when needed? Alrighty.
And even just ask, like, I'm just gonna jump in here, and it's hard to ask for help, and that's something where it's like, yes, I do, but I know it's important, and I think we just need to make sure that don't feel guilty for asking for help. It's okay. Ask for help. Lean on those people, and that's something that I'm continuing. When I'm reflecting as she asked that question, I'm like, that's something that I have to, keep doing, is asking for help. Yeah.
And I'm sure there's lots of our family and friends who would be eager and love to help out. They just need to hear that from us.
Yeah.
On the flip side there. So if anyone else has any other ideas for what we could put in our emotional part of our medicine wheel.
I see we have just a suggestion too. Maybe use the wheel as a family activity to involve the family as a whole.
Lovely. Thank you so much for mentioning that. That is a great idea. This could be something that could be revisited too at different times in our lives. Thank you so much for sharing that. So now as we all sort of like look at the wheel that we've drawn out, and we're probably seeing some maybe all of them are like full of yeses. Maybe there's one area that might have a lot of no's or not as much information in there. So we just want you to take that step back and look at your wheel as a whole. How balanced do you feel that your wheel is? Which of those sections has more responses and which has yes or less? Pardon me. So I think I've already mentioned this a few times. It's just, I know I'm going to say this over and over again, but our wheels are all going to look different from one another. So we just hope you have this opportunity to reflect and consider for yourself, am I in balance with that chosen direction that we're going to ask you also to sort of look at and focus on during our discussion today. So,
and
oops,
are we on our slideshow? We'll flip back to the slideshow.
Back to the slideshow.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I'm imagining that maybe some people might have a little bit more focus in one area. Another thing that's nice that I think is important to mention too, if anybody was adding in other ideas that they had, that maybe they see that they put a lot of focus into physical health than the other directions. But I think for balance, it still could be that some people need a lot more focus and a lot more intention on one area of their life to remain in balance. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that even if it doesn't look like there's an equal amount of yeses or nos in all of your areas, I still want you to think about, does this feel good though? Do I still feel in balance when you look at that? So another thing to just maybe think about is there anything there that you're seeing that you can acknowledge and say to yourself, I'm already doing really well in some areas. And at the same time, looking at like maybe there's some areas I could put a little bit more energy, that I want to put a bit more time or resources into improving my well-being. Okay, so we're going to move into our topics here around masking, unmasking. We really have to just touch on stigma, but One of the reasons for this topic this week, and as you had mentioned earlier, is that this is Mental Health Awareness Week from May 5th to the 11th.
I believe, yeah.
And so every year the Canadian Mental Health Association, they put out awareness themes. And so for 2025, we are unmasking mental health. And their statement on their website is living with mental health challenges often forces people to hide behind a mask to protect themselves from judgment and discrimination. But the heavier the stigma and that judgment, the heavier the mask becomes and the more isolated we feel.
Yeah.
So the next few slides, we're just going to continue discussing and creating, supporting this idea and the act of masking. And alrighty. So one other thing to mention is that masking has this really strong impact on our health, our sense of self, and how we care for ourselves. So what is masking? This is when we are concealing, we are hiding or suppressing our true feelings, our struggles, our emotions, our personality traits, our behaviors, and we're hiding those from others. We could be hiding it from people, but it's also in environments that we might not feel as safe, or generally as society as a whole. It really becomes a coping strategy, a protective mechanism that keeps us safe and sort of hiding in plain sight, or the idea about fitting in. This is masking. And for some of us, we may not even be aware that we're doing it at times. So why does this happen? I know I'd mentioned previously that we're all different, we're all individuals, and so likewise the ideas and the impacts of masking can be really different from person to person and for each of us. So sometimes it can be protective and help us in social situations. It can help us keep some personal boundaries even. Many of us every day, even in small ways, may experience and use masking to some degree. I think about an idea of just seeing people in the hallway or at the grocery store, maybe smiling at somebody, and they say, "Hey, how are you doing?" So most of us will automatically answer, "I'm good, I'm fine, I'm great." And we may not actually be feeling those things. So for masking, there's just lots of different reasons why it might occur and why we might be doing that. So, and it's okay to do that sometimes. We don't always have to share every part of ourselves with people. That's the idea around keeping some boundaries and keeping some parts of ourselves just to ourselves. And we get to make that choice too, like who gets to see us and who gets to see those parts of us.
And then just finding those appropriate times, right? When could we share, or those safe people, right? We might not want to, be so vulnerable in a grocery store or in public space, but maybe somewhere private with a friend, we can unload and share that, right? So yeah, keeping that boundary and knowing when we can unmask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to just really quickly talk about stigma here. And it really refers to negative attitudes and beliefs about people. So stigma can come from lots of different places. It could be within our society. It's negative perceptions of people. But what can also happen to us as we grow up with stigma around us, maybe it's at institutions, it could be policies and practices that are in hospital, healthcare settings, education settings. But these policies and practices could be creating barriers and limiting people's opportunities. And when we grow up and we are really constantly surrounded by this stigma, it has this effect where it can, for us, manifest as shame and self-doubt. So I've even seen just this phrase about self-stigma, so that we can almost internalize and take on those things as like that they're true, and sort of build on this like negative self-talk towards ourselves, that we can't be ourselves, or maybe, yeah. Okay, so masking can have different faces, as I'd said before. And what I mean by this is that while it can look different from person to person, and we can be hiding and camouflaging many different things to hide a part of our true selves and our identities, masking can look like hiding one's gender identity or sexual orientation to stay safe, both physically and psychologically. It can be hiding an invisible disability, or those natural characteristics of neurodivergence, such as ADHD, autism, dyslexia. It can look like hiding your substance use, or if you're using substances to cope. And for those of us using social media, it could even look like just posting these really idealized images of our lives, when behind the scenes it could be a really different experience for us.
And that's like a big thing too, right? Like and that's where we have to remind ourselves that what we see online may not be the whole picture, right? And we can really get to that comparison, and I know I get like this mom guilt sometimes when I see things, but we got to remember that maybe someone, like, we're posting that best self and that best image sometimes, and there might be other things going on within that individual. So always having that kindness, but to yourself and towards others.
So when we ourselves are experiencing and struggling with something that's like really difficult or really heavy to carry, and we do this for a really long time, it's really constant, this struggle. What do you think, like, long-term masking, what effects it could have on our long-term health, or our overall health, I should say? So if masking occurs all the time to keep a feeling of safety or to fit in, to avoid judgment, then masking can become too much of an effort or a burden to our health. And this can affect that balance, coming back to our medicine wheels. It can be really exhausting, and it has the potential to increase those feelings that we're trying to hide. So an example, let's say in your workplace setting, if you are feeling a lot of stress, if you feel like you are burning out, if we mask those feelings, this actually can add to the stress and increase that likelihood that burnout will occur. When there is masking that's happening most of the time, as I said, it's not only exhausting, but it also can keep us from forming really genuine and authentic relationships with others. It can isolate us. It can make us feel like we don't belong. It can be really lonely. And then also, if we're always pretending or acting like a part, like we're really acting, this can alter our self-esteem and create those extra feelings of shame about who we really are.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to move into unmasking. How do we do this? So taking off our mask, it requires us to be ourselves. It requires us to have open and honest conversations about mental health. So let's imagine a place where we are safe and we can be ourselves and acknowledge how we struggle or how we really feel. What does this look like for you? What do you think creates a safe space for someone to unmask with you? Can you create that safe space for somebody? So it really does require us to just be ourselves in that moment. And this can really take some time to develop and to process and progress into sharing that and feeling safe. I know you had mentioned about even asking for help, but that's another way of unmasking, and that can take some time. It's a skill that we learn.
Yep.
So we have to really unlearn these really well-rooted behaviors, and safe and accepting environments are part of that. Okay. So challenging stigma, a part of the unmasking and creating those safe spaces and challenging stigma, they really do go hand in hand. So there might even be some repeated phrases and statements in here. But if anybody thinks of any other ideas too around challenging stigma, I would love to hear them. Feel free to put some in the chat for us. But speaking up when you see or hear someone that is supporting harmful or discriminatory behaviors or ideas, speaking up and challenging them is a really important way that we can stop that stigma in that moment from spreading. If we endeavor to learn more about the systemic oppression that's all around us, such as colonialism, racism, sexism, any socioeconomic inequality and ableism, this is another way that knowledge really does help us confront and challenge that stigma. And as we had said before too, these open conversations about mental health are really important, and substance use as well. We need to really normalize that we all have different experiences, that we all are in different situations, and
yeah, just really just bringing that awareness, right, and that support to others, and just showing kindness when we're all in different stages in our journey, and just supporting each other for wellness, their wellness, right?
Yeah. Sharing our stories and listening to each other. It's all a really big part of that. Listening to our concerns and experiences that we've had, and really trying to keep that open mind and hear them out. So we're just about to move in here to our our third activity, and we wanted to come back to the medicine wheel for everybody. In that spirit of the May flowering moon, and after hearing Tina Armstrong's teachings about the new year, the new beginnings, we wanted to just slow down a bit too with this information and just reflect and look at our wheels and think about ourselves and ask ourselves if there is anything that we wanted to bring into our lives to bring that balance back to our medicine wheels if we felt like they were unbalanced.
Yeah, and I think even just I don't know if we have it, but just kind of manifesting those into our lives and those good things. It's kind of what we were chatting about earlier. So just really looking at our value systems and where, what are those things that we value in our life and what we strive to, that makes us feel good.
So we have another comment from online. Karen Marie says, your thoughts become reality sometimes, so I try to stay positive.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that about positivity, Karen. That our thoughts really can shape our reality. And so what we were hoping to do is, I think there's a lot of us, there's many of us who think about changes that we want to make in our lives. And so today we wanted to maybe help you and move through this idea with you of considering creating and just writing out our plan for change. We want you to just start small too, just thinking about little things that we can bring into our lives. But we wanted to first talk about what our values are. So if we don't see value in running around the block every day, then that isn't something that we should be bringing into our lives, or that will be even a new activity that we would probably continue on with. So we want to talk about our values as women, as grandmothers and mothers and daughters, as Indigenous people, and our ways of knowing, and a connection can guide us and help us in this journey. So here's that other moment now to bring out our paper and pens again and consider these 3 questions. What are your values in your life? Was there any area of your medicine wheel that you wanted to focus on after we completed that medicine wheel activity? Do you feel that there are areas of your life that need fueling right now and care and healing?
So we'll give a second to look over as you see those. Again, yeah, write those out. And yeah, no, I'm reflecting too, and we'll go into this next slide here, but you'll look at those areas that you want to hone in on.
Yeah, so we've just, we have a couple slides here just on some values, and we can look to the grandfather teachings as well for guidance in our values. For each of us and our communities, our teachings and values may be different. So for Kylie and I in Thunder Bay and in Northwestern Ontario, we hear and we're reminded always of the teachings of wisdom, love, respect, bravery, honesty, humility, and truth. And as I go over these and I read them, I really feel like it lines up with this idea of masking and unmasking, the idea that we all make mistakes, and learning from them. I love the teaching of love, and how when we are at our weakest, that is when we really need that love the most. And we can bring that love to ourselves. I know we often bring our love to our community and our community members, our coworkers, but bringing that love to ourselves today is what we're hoping to encourage.
So we're thinking of more values, and again, we just encourage you guys, if you want to put into the chat too, just what certain values, but you can also kind of just, or putting it on your paper as well, you do not have to share, but just what values really resonate. And some of these for me too was respect for all living things, all our relations. So again, every being, human, animal, plant, or spirit, is worthy of respect and has a role in the circle of life. So we're thinking of all our two-legged, our four-legged relations, our winged, our swimmers, our crawlers, our rock, our tree nations. We're thinking of all those relations and having respect for all those. Again, I shared earlier in the opening, offering that respect and that gratitude when we are going out and harvesting. So having that relationship with the land. The land is sacred and provides everything needed to live. It is not owned, but it's cared for as a relative. Honoring our elders and ancestors. Elders hold wisdom and are honored as teachers. Ancestors are remembered and respected in everyday life. And it was actually kind of a teaching that I received recently too, or not a teaching, but just more something that I was shared, is that we all, just more or less of, they're knowledge carriers. They're here to share that knowledge, and with those that are open to receiving it, right? I know there was kind of shared like knowledge holder, but it's knowledge carrier, because they're carrying it within them and carrying it to others. So having that respect. Social relations. We value our positive social relations with others and continue to nurture and foster these relations. It is not seen as a means to an end. So kind of what that's saying there is we're putting in our efforts into that relationship. We're not seeing it as, if I move on in my life somewhere else, I'm not just ending that relationship with that person, but I'm actually putting in those intentions and making efforts to continue that relationship with that person. So I looked if that's a value for you. Some more values that we can reflect on is humility. And we kind of shared that again within our grandfather teachings, but for here, no one person is above others. We all sit in the circle together. We all have knowledge that we can share. We can listen to others share their knowledge, and we're not better than another person. Storytelling and oral traditions, knowledge sharing, teachings that have been passed down through generations, which are respected. I often share that kind of value when I do our our Legends of the Four Wind Dice game and how storytelling is so important in our Indigenous cultures, and being able to share stories. We're all storytellers. Community and family relations. We value our community and base decisions with the thought of the 7 generations before us and 7 generations after us. So always having, if we value our community and our family relationships, we are always making sure we're thinking of both of those, who came before us and who is going to be coming after us. And spirituality. Spiritual life is deeply integrated into daily life, ceremonies, and relationships with our ancestors in the natural world. So we all have choices to make.
Yeah, and as we're in this activity now, like when we think about our values, maybe there was some that came up that stood out for us, as we were talking about earlier too, about how sometimes like we can hear similar information, repeated that information,
Mm-hmm.
but one day it really like sticks with us, and we really hear it and we feel it. So maybe there's some, when we were going over some of these values, that there was one that maybe stood out for you. And so when we're bringing new change and actions into our life, we just want to remind you that it doesn't have to be this large effort. That's going to require hours of your time. These small, easy, enjoyable actions are perfect, and they can bring we can bring those more easily into our days and are likely to stay with that. I know I'm sort of repeating that, but so considering our values, looking at our medicine wheels, what actions, I just want to list out, it could be a task. You might think of it as an event that you want to attend. Positive fueling, positive energy, those things that you want to bring into your life right now. What do we want to manifest into our lives? How do we fill our cups? So we have a couple little examples down here, and this is by no means, this list could be pretty infinite for everybody. Everyone's going to have different things, but we wanted to just have some little suggestions there just to talk about.
Before we go, I know CJ there's a couple comments that came in.
Yeah, so there's a couple comments that have come in, and we've got those here. So we've got Savannah, who said, the health of my children and living a good life in relation to the
Values.
now.
Yeah.
And we've got April, who said, my health and self-care is what I'm looking at now, as well as Karen, who had is what I'm looking at now. Said family, children, animals, and nature.
Yeah. And those are things, like thank you guys so much for sharing. And I agree, health of your children. I always like my nightly prayer too is just, I want health for my family and my children, have a good life. I see a lot of health, children, family, nature, and just taking care of ourselves. I appreciate those comments. Thank you guys for sharing. So we'll move into kind of some of those, different activities.
Different tasks that we could bring in.
Yeah.
So Kylie and I put this list together, and there may be ones that these are some that you already do, but we wanted to sort of think of some that were things that we could do easy every day. So we wanted to maybe suggest that maybe smudging is something that you would like to bring in every day or once a week. Making a prayer tie, going out on the land. For emotional, if that was your direction and quadrant that you want to focus on, maybe supporting and building on those community connections, or sharing with friends, or finding that laughter in your life wherever you can would be a plan for you.
I like that one, finding laughter.
I love it.
Just, laughter is medicine, is what we say, right? And it makes you feel good if we can find that. And so physical, Some of the things that we shared there is, again, some of these can kind of overlap, and taking a walk in nature, whether that's in your physical or if it's in your spiritual, and it's filling both of those quadrants. Land-based activities. I participated last week in ONWA's for hide tanning camp. And boy, can I tell you, that is physical. There's a lot of, things that you have to do physically to, scraping and tanning the hides. And I really appreciate that. But even like if it's berry picking or doing, or if it's harvesting, so that can fill your physical quadrant, or any other hobbies and interests that you have. So, for me, physical, mine would be like playing hockey, or so whatever that would, however that relates to you, you could pick those activities. Mental, you're thinking about your own personal growth. How do you, whether that is, cultural knowledge and learning that, we spoke before about learning the language, or just different teachings, time for solitude, taking that time to kind of, take care of yourself, self-care, limiting screen time during certain hours. And that's something too, where I think about, like, even whether it's an hour before, and I think of that too, especially because I see there's a lot of parents too that are listening in. Try to find those moments where I'm limiting my screen time, and that's something that it's a kind of like a goal of mine. So I threw that in there. Might help in our mental. Especially we were talking too about masking and unmasking, and I shared there earlier where you see stuff online as well, and it can make you feel, it might make you feel good, or it can make you feel so even just monitoring what you're looking at too online to help with your mental well-being.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. So this final part of our activity here is making that decision on your plan. We're really close to having all of this together. We've looked at our values, we looked at our medicine wheel, and maybe thought about what areas of our life we want to fuel and support more. And we've sort of written out and talked about some different ideas that what that might look like. So I hope that for those of you out there that maybe you've had an idea and you've made a decision or a choice on one thing that you'd like to bring into your life and your day-to-day. So our final part of your plan is deciding on when we're going to start. And writing this out on your piece, I would really encourage you to write this out on that. If you have been sort of jotting notes down and writing this out, write down for yourself, what day am I going to start? And also telling yourself how often you want to do this. Is it going to be once a week? Will it be once a day? It really probably will depend on whatever activity that you've chosen. What time of day I also would encourage you to choose, so that you have that structure around there, that if it's 3 o'clock and it's your time, or maybe it's first thing in the morning and you want to smudge on that at that time, that you set that out. You've given yourself, you've put out that intention to do it at that time. So also some other things to think about is, will you be alone, or will you be inviting other people to join you? And if you're going out onto the land, or where will you go? Where will you be? And just try to be specific as much as you can.
And it's, writing that out too, it's putting those intentions out, right? And also maybe holding us accountable. And it's okay if we miss a day, because it happens, and something, maybe weather or feelings, but then we get back and we try again. But yeah, creating that plan, and we look through, like Carly said, we did different stages of our medicine wheel, and we've seen what quadrant maybe we need a little bit more attention and care into. So Yeah, I hope this is helpful for you guys and this information, and just looking at, even when we talk about masking and unmasking, and then going into our values.
So this is really bringing us towards the end of our presentation. We have one more meditation that we wanted to play for you. So,
And yeah, this you can share a little bit. Well, not share, but this is Pearl, is one of the elders, hey, from someone that's known. I think I don't know exactly where, but I think she's situated down in the south though more.
yes, and she's with the Métis Nation of Ontario, and she's done this video for CAMH, and it's a really, really nice meditation.
As you see, it's part of the program, and we will list our resources later, but I definitely encourage everyone to check out the CAMH's Skabe Makwa Wellness Bundle series too. It's a really nice resource. But yeah, so we're going to do our meditation that Pearl has here.
Yeah, just to sort of help send us on our way. I also, just one more moment here, I just want to just mention to people that if there's anything that came up in one of the slides that you might want to like revisit or look at it a bit more, most of the information that was compiled and put into this presentation either comes from the Canadian Mental Health Association or the Centre for Addiction and Mental Health. So just wanted to show that up there so everyone can see that they have really nice, easy to remember websites.
So we'll go into our meditation. If you guys are still joining us, I'll just click out of this for a second.
Thank you so much for doing that.
And we'll go into, And no, we'll just keep going. Yep.
Oh, wait, 1 second.
Please take a moment to get yourself comfortable in your seat. You may want to sit upright with your feet flat on the floor, perhaps resting your hands on your lap or at your sides. I'd like to invite you to close your eyes, or if you'd prefer, you can simply lower your gaze or find a spot to focus on. Let's take a moment now to focus on our breath as we take a few short breaths in, then out. Notice how the air is traveling in and then out, perhaps in through your nose and out through your mouth. Just notice the sensation of the air coming in and out. At times, you may experience some distractions, and this is normal. If there are distractions that pull your attention away from you, or if your mind starts to wander, that is okay. Just acknowledge what drew your attention away without judgment or criticism, and gently return your attention back to the sensation of breathing and this moment. Now I'd like to invite you to imagine an outdoor scene as you continue to focus on your breath. You are sitting at the fire on a midsummer evening. The air is cool but mild. Notice the heat from the fire in front of you, warming your face. Take a moment to notice what the fire looks like. Are the flames dancing? What does the fire sound like? As you continue to breathe, let's expand this picture even more. As you're looking around, notice the trees gently watching over you. You can also hear the sound of water nearby, perhaps a stream or river that is flowing in the distance. And if your mind wanders at all from the place, or you become distracted, or notice an unwanted thought, just acknowledge what drew your attention and gently return to the spot in front of the fire. As you take a deep breath in, you can hear the sound of a gentle breeze. Notice the sound of the leaves gently dancing with the breeze, along with the sound of the fire crackling in front of you. Enjoy the feeling of the freshness of the air coming in and out as you breathe. Take a moment to be still here, taking in all of the sights, sounds, and sensations of this spot, welcoming feelings of calm, relaxation, or peacefulness that you may be feeling. We're going to begin to leave this place shortly, so take one final moment to savor this special place, reminding yourself that you can always return here if you'd like. And now I'd like you to begin to expand your attention and awareness, noticing any sounds that may be in the room you're in or just outside of it. Begin to move your fingers and toes. When you are ready, open your eyes again. Welcome back.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that was I hope you guys enjoyed that fireside meditation, and I just enjoyed listening to the fire crack. And when it said like summer, it's coming soon.
Oh, I got a big smile on my face when I heard that. I was like, I'm there. I'm ready to be there.
I can see it. I can visualize it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Being by the water. Yeah. It's coming, guys.
Mm-hmm. I really hope you enjoyed that. Big shout out to Pearl, Gabona, wherever you are. Thank you so much today for posting that video. And this brings us to the end of our event today. I wanted to do just to mention one more time about our survey for today's event, and just thank you all ahead of time for those of you that decide to fill out that survey and share your feedback and your requests for future health talks with us. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
We really appreciate always hearing from everybody. And is there anything else that you would like to?
I just want to say, again, I'm really glad, Carly, that we were able to come together and, work on this. It's really, really important information. I truly hope that those that are online or that will view this later, because you can view this later under the ONWA video tab, we'll have it saved. But I really hope that, again, that teaching of taking what you need for right now, what's little brain there mess, but just taking what's helpful and what's really resonated with you for today, and taking that information and applying it to your life and to your own knowledge bundle. So I just, I'm glad that we were able to come together. I'm glad that, technology can connect us in this way. And I just hope that, everyone, best luck on their journey as they move forward today. Yeah, I don't know if there's any other thoughts.
Thank you so much for joining me today.
Yes.
This has been really great.
Yeah. Until the next one, I guess, guys. Thank you. Wamapi.